gonna love this.
I want to hear it. I'm objective. You're critical.
Anico at the disco.
He's positive. Join the Mixtape 615.
Today, tomorrow, yesterday,
It is the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville.
forever. Testing. 1, 2, 3. This is a Mixtape 615 podcast, and we are the voice of the fans. We're gonna talk some NSC real quick, so lock in with us, baby. It's your boy, Tunji, aka Young Turtle, the soccer face. That's up, Doom, the DR kid, affectionately known as Steve Poppy, Yamame por favor, aka sipping Mai Tais on this beach in Belize, feeling cool like a summer breeze. And once again, it's a Mixtape 615 podcast. Awesome. Can you tell them who you are, bro?
What's up, guys? My name is Austin, aka Wild Mane. You know I am also Ginger Snap. Don't cross this ginger, he may snap. AKA the Fumbling Dublin, AKA Chicky Parm, AKA Red Beard, the dopest pirate in all the 7 seas. Logan, tell them who you are.
All right, guys. Y'all know who it is. It's Beer Main, Logan, Beer Main. This is also Manga Main. And this, you are currently listening to the Mixtape 615 podcast, brought to you by the Mixtape 615 supporter group, the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville, in all the soccer, in all the world. Like, you know, you love it. In all the sports, this is the place you want to be. You want to get locked in with us, be able to hear this constantly, because you know you love listening to our sultry voices. But the easiest way to jump in, listen, catch up, get in with us, and know everything that's going on is to go to mixtape615.com. That is mixtape615.com. Get jumping in to the season with us as we jump into the season of 2025, because there's a lot of soccer news out there, from guys leaving to guys coming in, to the craziness that has been this offseason when it comes to moves across the league and changes in rules that are going across the league. There has been a lot of soccer news out there, but we want to bring it all the way back to home, because our boy, our man, the captain of our ship for the year, BJ Callaghan, has officially done his first presser of the year as the preseason training has started. We are going to talk about that. Guys, I got a quick question, man. What did y'all think of the presser? Austin, give me your take real fast. Just overall.
Overall general, I mean, it's the first press conference heading into the preseason. It's the coach addressing some of the roster changes. It's the coach saying what we as fans want to hear. Ultimately, I wasn't blown away by anything. I was excited by a couple things, but it was just your typical press conference. We'll get into more of the details into it, but that was kind of my overall.
Tunji?
I confirmed everything that I believe. In my own way, I read what BJ was saying as this is a rebuild. He's rebuilding. And then he said some other stuff about making this Nashville identity, whatever that means. Yeah. But in my mind, I'm like, he's rebuilding this roster as he should. This is not a retooling or reconfiguring.
Overhaul. Yeah. He didn't say rebuild.
Yeah. An overhaul. So an overhaul kind of implies that, like, you know, we're gonna just tear down the old thing and make a new thing from the ground up, right? Or I don't know. Is that, maybe I don't know words anymore.
I mean, he's replenishing and repositioning the roster.
Yeah, there was a lot of that regarding, you know, kind of who he's bringing in, who he's or what he's doing when it comes to this. Now, he did say he was still active in the transfer portal, so there's still more, I think, that's coming. But one of the things that struck me, and I want you guys to give me a little bit of an insight on this, one of the things that struck me that was significant for him to have stated was that his aim is for us to score a minimum of 50 goals in a season. His exact words were, to be a consistent team in the playoff, you need to score 50 goals.
Good luck.
According to his analysis, which is crazy. I mean, last season was one of our higher goal scoring seasons, which is crazy. We scored 38 goals last season. And it's hard to think about that
we scored
considering
in 2023.
what we lost, but 2023, I believe, was 34 or 36.
Okay.
And so we've had some decent years, but we've not even broken 40 guys in our time. And so this is going to be a significant push towards offense, in my opinion. So
I feel like when he took over last year, did we not see goal scoring tick up a bit, or
we saw an active attack, but the defense was still lacking. We did see an active attack and what he was trying to position. But there are some other things he did say, that we need to be flexible and take our opportunities. Kind of that. What was the wording he used last year? Cautiously opportunistic. Some of the similar mindset, like some of that similar talk. But with a lot of the moves that they've made in this offseason, I really do feel like this could be a chance to go forward. So Austin, with these moves, with what BJ is saying, do you feel like the attack is ready to go?
I don't know if it's there yet, especially for 50 goals, just with what the league is, because the league is getting stronger. Nashville hasn't been a team that has been goal scoring. We've brought in a couple of guys who I think can aid in that, but we've got to get Hani back to playing like Hani Mukhtar, back to the MVP level. And I think that will elevate the play of everyone else. So with these changes, with what we're seeing, I know that he addressed the overhaul with the midfield, some of those changes. I think we're getting more speed on the wings with Schaffelberg, with hopefully Tyler Boyd. I know that he's been rehabbing that ACL tear, with him coming back in, hopefully adding more speed.
You're missing
into
somebody.
Alex Moyle.
Alex Moyle, yeah, sure. Let's call him speed. But let's be honest. Jonathan Perez bringing
more speed as well.
Great at the end of last season.
Yeah. So I think our team can be faster, but can they be precise? That's more of my concern, because we can get it up the wings as fast as we want. We've seen Schaffelberg do it so many times, but then when he goes to cross it in, either there's nobody on the end, or he hasn't beaten that last defender, and he's trying to cross and basically just winning a corner kick, and we're having to set up. But we don't have those breakout chances. I want to see us play through the middle, and I want to see us create opportunities. And so I don't know if our attack is there yet, to answer your question. However, I'm cautiously optimistic in that if our speed can add precision, then I think that we will see an uptick in goal scoring.
BJ also addressed the fact that we need clear, defined roles and responsibilities for each position this year. Do you feel, Tunji, that with the new additions coming in, that those are going to be are they going to have to feel those positions out, or are there going to be set places for them from day one?
I think with this team, like for sure, I think BJ Callaghan is going to give them set places. And yes, we're going to talk about this a little later on, but like, yes, we have brought in a lot of new people for specific roles, such as Tag Seth for a little bit of playmaker creation. Same thing, Costa. But from what I have seen with Nashville SC over the years, any change you make, it doesn't just set in right away. It's like, and it's not like, I feel like they take a little longer to adjust to each other. Sam Surridge, prime example, took him a minute to figure out his way in the system. Leal never found his way. Yeah, exactly. Leal never found his way. I'm forgetting his name now, and I'm glad I am. But the first big DP swing that we took, and he plays in like Mexico now or something like that.
Was it?
No, not Akeloba. I know what you're talking about. Well, that was a big swing, and he never found his way either. There's a lot of wasted
new guys, bro.
Yeah,
us bringing in all these new people, like, and you're asking me if like Brian Callahan or BJ Callaghan, I'm still thinking about Titans. What an awful organization that is. BJ Callaghan bringing in and Mike Jacobs bringing in all this new talent, and then this presser. I'm going to tell you this. Like, yes, he's talking about people having to find roles. One thing I really do know from what he's saying, he still sees Hani Mukhtar as being the most vital part of this offense, which he should be.
Yeah.
In a respectful way, he should be, because he's Hani Mukhtar. He is the glue. He is the engine that gets this train down the tracks. All right. I think the people that he's bringing in are supposed to, from what I can see, the talent that they bring, their resumes, they are supposed to take the pressure off of Hani, which we tried to do last year with Sam Surge and with Boyd and all that, and it didn't. I didn't really see the results of that, but that's because our midfield was so bad.
Yeah, there were glimpses of it, and it wasn't just our midfield that was bad. We had plenty of injuries. Our defense really suffered and was stretched thin when it came to what they had available to them. So there was a lot of almost desperation in the front to try and get there, and that doesn't help create a system to where we can push to the front. It just creates a system of you got to get up there.
I thought it was interesting that BJ Callaghan talked more about the attack and more about the overhaul with the midfield. He didn't really discuss the backline, because we gave up more goals than I think we had ever given up in an MLS season since Nashville has been in the MLS. And he didn't really address that. So do you feel like, I know he didn't really talk about it, but do y'all feel like that's more concerning, or do you feel like BJ Callaghan has more confidence because some of those players are healthy?
Not even the healthy part. I think we all know, bro, that the midfield has been our problem for years now, 2 years at least, maybe longer. I don't know. Like, until we fix this midfield, I don't know if I can realistically look at the back line, who was, like you said, Logan, stretched thin, no depth, which they've added depth now. I don't know if I can say all of those goals being scored was on the midfield when the ball doesn't move past the midfield.
On the defense,
it was on the back line. When the ball doesn't move past the midfield, it never gets up to the attackers. It's always in our defensive third. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just like, if you're an American football fan, when the defense is always on the field, they're gonna give up scores. They're gonna give up touchdowns.
If you can't keep the offense rolling, it's kind of hard to score.
Exactly.
Something when it comes to defense, something that BJ did address was the fact that Shaq Moore is now left. Has gone to Cincy. More power to him. Good luck, bro. We truly love you, adore you.
Cincy is taking all of our players, bro. They got Brian Anunga too, I think.
They just got Brian, and they just picked Brian Anunga up from the offseason. We didn't re-sign or exercise options on him, I think. So we let his contract go. But BJ even said it. Even though he's known Shaq for the longest, Shaq Moore went to Dallas, not Cincy. That's on me.
Oh, there we go.
He went to Dallas. Brian Anunga just went to Cincy.
There we go.
But he did address the fact that Shaq Moore's gone. He loves Shaq. He's known him since U17s. But he also said what we all thought and what we were all talking about, that he really does see a lot of potential in Julian Gaines, something that we literally talked about on our last podcast, that we think that there's a lot of potential there. All three of us had seen it, and it seems like kind of we're on that same wavelength of with Coach, that Coach Callahan now has that mindset of Julian Gaines is going to give us a lot. Now, of course, he's shored up with a couple new signings, our defensive side, but the midfield, I do believe, has kind of been that big question mark for Nashville for the longest. And whether he's shored that up, whether he has addressed that as a whole, is a really good question. And I think we should tackle that coming up in our next segment. So guys, stick around. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to talk about what this midfield really means.
All
Are you tired of neck or back pain? Maybe it's shoulder pain or headaches get in the way of your busy life. Well, Christ Chiropractic is right here in Franklin, Tennessee, and they've been helping families and professionals live their best life for over 25 years. They specialize in spinal decompression therapy and chiropractic adjustments that are there to tackle the pain and get down to the root cause without drugs, without surgery. So whether it's stress from work or chasing your kids around, they have got you covered. Visit christchiropractic.com. That's CRIST chiropractic.com to schedule your appointment and take the first step toward living a pain-free life.
All right, guys, we are back. Mixtape 615 podcast, and we are talking midfield changes. We talked about it last segment. BJ Callaghan addressed it in his press conference, and we're going to give you our opinions on what we feel like this midfield is going to look like this season. So, Tunji, what do you feel like this offseason has actually done for our midfield?
Oh man, dude, it's like it's not like a facelift. It's like our midfield has like gone to, it's gone into like monk mode, and it's been like, you know what I mean? Like it's disappeared for 6 months and it's coming back stronger than ever, a whole new person, bro. I don't know any of these guys in the midfield, bro. I mean, Yazbek, I kind of know him. Acosta,
we got glimpses of him last season.
Brugman, Tagsef, Isaiah Jones might be in there. You know what I mean? He might get some play. We've got the wingers and Schaffelberg, Perez, boy. Like this midfield is it's I don't know if it's everything that I'm looking for, but the activity that we've seen in the offseason around the midfield, like we mentioned last segment, like there hasn't been a lot of attention on the back line. But that's because of how seriously bad the midfield was. So now that we've got so many new guys that could really make some real changes. I'm really excited about Tagsef. I'm very excited about Edvard. I'm really excited about him, bro.
Edvard.
Yeah, so Tunji is excited about Tagseth. Logan, we just added Gaston Brugman, and this guy was the MLS Cup MVP last year. And so with adding a finals MVP, if you will, what do you think that does for our midfield?
It's not just a finals MVP, it's an MLS Cup MVP. And that's big when it comes to a veteran status in our midfield, something that has been lacking since Dax McCarty left. When it comes to someone who has played in the MLS for a long time, because it was hard to put that. And I'm not saying that Godoy did a bad job. All of us know Anibal Godoy, he was the heart of this team, but he was not necessarily the backbone of that midfield. And I do believe that Gaston could be that. Honestly, something that, another signing that came was a former Dallas player who I enjoy the way he plays and the style in which he plays and the leadership that he brings is Acosta. Acosta coming in. Ron Acosta coming in, I know he's played with a few other teams since Dallas, but him coming into our team and showing that veteran leadership, the fact that he's been out of the MLS and is now coming back to the MLS shows that he understands what it means to be on a different stage and what it means to be in that next level as well. I think it's going to be huge to have him in veteran leadership as well.
Yeah, I mean, we added a couple of not only in our midfield, but we did add a couple of international players. And so what that does is it's going to strengthen, because we just lost Godoy, who we know he had played for Panama for a while. Randall Leal had played for Costa Rica for a while. And so we added a couple of players who are on their national teams, have been called up multiple times. So that does bring in that leadership. But we also added some youth. We talked about the Patrick Yazbek. We talked about the Tagseth, the Julian Gaines coming up from the right back. And so with some of these youth players, how do you think that is factoring into Mike Jacobs building this team together, Tunji? Because I know that he's talked a lot about development. What are you seeing with some of these younger additions in our midfield?
I mean, the biggest thing is just literally the energy that they're going to bring to the pitch. We saw it last year, DC United. I don't know what happened. None of us know what happened in that game, but we know that they took their foot off the pedal. I don't know if they were gassed or what, but I really do. You know, I've been very critical of Mike Jacobs, but when I look at the names he's putting in front of me, he's bought some patience from me in at least the first month, maybe first couple months of the season, because I'm seeing, well, you really did balance out your pickups. You've got, you've got Edward Tagseth, right? You've got Yazbek, who's another younger guy. But then you brought in guys like we just said, Gaston Brugman. You brought in Brian Acosta, who have tremendous experience. They can lead a team,
and
they can lead that midfield.
Yeah.
That midfield was lost in the woods for 2 years, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know where they were at. I don't know what they were doing, but like literally, bro, like if these guys can, again, it's all about how they can find their own way to influence the team. But that's their job. They didn't just bring in Brian Acosta because he's a Honduran international. They brought him in because he has 107 MLS appearances. Okay, he automatically knows more than a lot of the guys on the pitch. Maybe not Zimmerman, maybe not probably not Washington, Lovitz, but like, you know what I'm saying? But like, he's got way more MLS experience in this league matters so much, bro, because it is a different league than a lot of other leagues. And that same could be said of any other league in the world. Like, it's better to find, sometimes it is better to find a Premier League player to play in the Premier sometimes. But in MLS, specifically when you're talking about the players, when you can find someone who has 107 appearances in MLS and they've got a little international experience, my gosh, bro. But like, in terms of youth, man, like, I think bringing in, you're gonna get some of these guys, Tagseth, Yazbek, who they're gonna see the game from maybe a little bit more, I don't want to say naive, or a little bit more they're just gonna see the game in a way that like they'll take those risks. Yeah. And that's what we were missing. No one took risks last year.
Yeah. To piggyback on that, man, it's kind of like what you see in any job. I know that, Austin, you've been a kitchen manager and hired vets, hired young guys. I've been in a management position where I had to hire people as well. And one of the best things that you can do when it comes to the youth side is you don't have any bad habits that you have to break when it comes to some of that. And so picking the right veterans is a great move, but having that youth where you don't really have those, they're still coachable, they're still pliable. You can really put them in a position where you want them to be and train them in the way that you want them to succeed in your system. That youth being in that position is huge. Having guys like Jonathan Perez, like Tyler Boyd, who are a little bit on the younger side when it comes to what you want to see succeed. Having guys like Tagseth and Yazbek, younger and newer to this league, you can train them in the way that you want. Isaiah Jones, our homegrown boy, right there, training him up in the way that you want him to succeed. This is something that I think BJ, it does well. This is something that we know historically he's done well. This is something that I think he's going to continue to do well, because he even talked about it in the press that the youth side, the youth teams are going, and Huntsville, they're part of this leadership tree that he's really trying to build himself within Nashville.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting when you talk about like the bad habits and not having to break those, because if you look at all of the additions, the veterans and the young players, it's really in our midfield. Schaffelberg and Alex Moyle are really the only two that are still a part of that Gary Ball, mentality that we had for so long.
And Mukhtar. Let's be real. He's still a midfielder.
He is midfield, and I know BJ said he's going to include him more with the center mids. He's not really going to be as much of the forward. He's going to use that play a little bit different. But when you're talking about the bad habits, the passing backwards, because we haven't seen creative ball progression through the middle, that was one of our big problems. And I think that still came from a lot of our players, the Sean Davis, the Brian Anungas, the Anibal Godoys, were still in that Gary Smith coaching. And so we've changed our entire midfield with the exception of Schaffelberg and Alex Moyle. And so Tsunji, with the ball progression being such an issue, do you think that we found a way to keep the ball moving forward with a lot of the players that we've added?
I'm just going to keep going back to him, man. Tag Seth is your guy. Tag Seth
He's a two-way midfielder. So same thing with
two-way
Yazbek.
midfielder. Yep. He's known, bro. He's known for being able to get the ball up and to find chances. Like my guy is like a truffle pig, bro. He will find
He's gonna root
that
it out.
nugget of goodness on the pitch somewhere and he'll make it happen. So pairing him with Hani Mukhtar, maybe again, we've been trying to do this, man. We've been trying to figure out how can we help Hani out. I truly think I'm going out on the limb. Look, we don't know until February 22nd.
Yep.
We do not know what's going to happen. That is where we're at as fans, bro. After a year like we had last year, we don't know. But again, of all of the signings that we made, and you're asking me about like how have we addressed like the ability to get the ball on the field and the ability to find the 50 goals that BJ is talking about.
Yep.
I think if Tagsef steps up and does what we think that he can do, what he's shown he can do, over in where was he at? Rosenborg. Rosenborg. I don't know.
Norway.
The team that he was playing for, Rosenborg, became. He's shown he can do that. Now he has to figure that out in MLS, and he has to figure out how to take a once prolific scorer in Hani Mukhtar and make him that again. If Tagsef wants to put the ball in the back of the net, I ain't gonna stop him. But I think his best bet is to be that truffle pig, baby.
Yeah. I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Logan.
I was just gonna say, I think you're hitting it on the head. Something that we mentioned last year before the season began was that we really wanted to see that ball come through the middle, and we hoped that Tyler Boyd would be that guy to bring it through the middle. And then we ended up signing Yazbek about a little bit into the season, and we're like, okay, maybe he can help bring it through the middle. And we saw glimpses of what it could be with those two. Then Tyler Boyd got hurt. Yazbek, he's playing under no coach. He didn't have a coach, so it was really hard to see him progress it. But you did see him try to swing up and back.
Even Jonathan Perez, you saw moving it, and he was cutting in from the wing. He wasn't just going, up like where Schaffelberg on one side would go all the way up the wing and try to cross it. You actually saw Jonathan Perez trying to work it towards the middle.
Yeah, real quick, man. I know we're running out of time for this segment, but I just wanted to bring in you said something earlier, Logan, about I don't know if you said it was Brugman or Acosta filling that Dak Prescott role, or sorry,
Acosta and Gaston.
Yeah, I think both of those two could finally fill that gaping gash left in our hearts when we just sent Dax away to success and glory.
Did we send him away, or we just not do anything with what we needed to?
Effectively, we sent him away. Effectively, we ghosted him.
Yeah, which is awful. I hate that.
We ghosted one of the best players we've ever had.
We've had
in MLS history, bro.
We've had an ex-player on the podcast before. Maybe we can get Dax on. Who knows? Maybe we have a current player to address some of these things.
Everyone needs to tag him in this podcast.
Everybody, tag Dax
right
now. Tag him right now.
Gonna send this to Dax McCarty on Instagram or Facebook.
Spam his Instagram.
Spam his ex.
Spam his ex account.
To tell him the voice of the fans wants to talk to him.
Yeah, tell him mixtape.com. We want to talk to him right here. Mixtape615.com. Mixtape 615 podcast.
Well, we're going to wrap this segment. We're going to move on to our next one. We're going to talk about right after this break, what have we lost and how is it going to affect our team moving forward? And we'll be right back.
What's up, Mixtape family? The new season's around the corner. In fact, it's already here, and it's time to turn it up. Tailgates, away match days, the whole shebang.
And here's the play. Our official watch party spot this season is going to be Lucky's 3-star bar. That's 3 stars out of 5, and it's just a short walk from Geodis Park on 4th Ave.
Nah, man, I'm giving them 5 stars out of 5 because Lucky's is where it is at. The pregame is strong, catching every single minute of the action, watching our Nashville SC boys get the dub with the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville.
And you already know you can still get lit with me at Lucky's. Cold drinks, glizzy, screens everywhere. The vibe is undefeated.
So roll up with your squad. In fact, you're part of our squad. Come to Lucky's 3-Star Bar. It's our new away match day headquarters. Let's make this season legendary.
Big energy all season long. Let's get it.
Yeah.
And we're back once again. We are here singing those good old Nashville blues for you. Take it away, Austin. Nah, I'm playing. If you guys are watching the pod on YouTube, you would see Austin playing his lovely guitar. Yeah. Hey, put that down. We never said you could actually play on here. Anyways,
you said blues.
What you guys want to hear?
We also never said you could actually play.
So. This is the question that we have seen time and time again in all of the online forums. When I see people in just in the wild of Nashville.
Oh yeah.
We lost a lot of people we were all yelling at last year. We need a change. We need a change. We need a change. And then they made a change. The team made a big change, and people are admittedly they're freaking out a little bit. And I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy to be a sports fan in Nashville, especially after this past year. 2024 was a rough one for all of us.
I mean, shoot, look at where the Titans ended up. Look at where the Predators are at. I don't think the Predators have strung together. I don't think they've strung together 2 wins in a row, period. Granted, neither did Nashville SC last year, it felt like.
Bro, all of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Now look, we lost in this so far, and there could be more moves happening. We've lost Liao.
Yep.
Yearwood is out of contract, and we don't know what's going on with Drew. Godoy is gone. Where'd he go? San Diego?
Yep.
Good for him. Sean Davis to LA.
Yep.
Galaxy, that is. And I'm not sure what's going on with Cedric. Not gonna lie, I don't really care. Also, Panico is on waivers.
Panico's on waivers.
Yep.
Don't forget, we also lost Lucas McNaughton to DC.
Lucas McNaughty. Shaq Moore is out.
Anunga's
These are major.
Anunga's in Cincy. Like
Brian
Shaq Moore.
Again.
Yep, you said that. That's literally 9 players. That's our entire team. Like that's an entire fielded team.
Okay. What did we in losing those 9 players? One word. What did we lose, Logan? What did the team lose?
Positive or
years
negative?
and age.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's positives and negatives to it, but
one word, bro. One word.
Experience.
Bingo.
We lost experience.
What do you think, Austin?
Trying to think. I mean, experience is a good word. I don't know about like what we lost. I definitely got a word for what we gained.
Yeah, but we got to focus. Look, we lost the experience of those guys. Those are all mostly veterans.
We lost Gary Ball.
A lot of good years. There we go. Gary Ball.
That's a positive.
It's done. It should be done. What do you guys? Am I wrong?
We have we have a total of with the exception of Boyd, who came in Gary Ball, if you will. With the exception of Tyler Boyd, we only have 4 players in our starters that 5, I guess, that were around for Gary. Lovitz, Mukhtar, Willis, Walker, and I mean Schaffelberg. Like those are the
if you're gonna
real
count Schaffelberg, you should definitely count Maher. You should count.
Well, Muil, Mayer
Serge came in.
Serge came in halfway through the year.
Yeah,
he came in about halfway through the year though. Washington has not been a starter. Muil has historically not always been a starter. He's been up there. Last year he became more of a starter, but he's not always been a starter. So I'm not saying that. I'm just talking starters. Like we've really got 5 that have been starters that have been there in a consistent role. And they're the ones who really are the only ones left from that Gary ball.
Austin, which one of these guys that we just mentioned is going to be the most noticeable, like, hole that needs to be filled? Like, of all these guys that are now playing for other teams or just not going to be on the pitch in Nashville wearing a Nashville crest, which one is going to be the most noticeable L?
Can I give you two? They're both on the back line. I think Shaq Moore
Go ahead.
and Lucas McNaughton.
Okay.
I think both of those are bigger shoes to fill than anywhere else on the team with what we've added.
Bigger than Godoy.
I was going to say Godoy, man, the heart of the team.
And it's not because of his presence. I think that will be harder to replace than his skill. Because he was getting older. And we've added some younger players. You mentioned Togseth. I think that him and Patrick Gesbeck, and then adding a couple of those vets with Acosta and Brugman, I think that covers what we lost in Godoy and Sean Davis. So I think that the bigger holes, bigger shoes to fill are going to be Lucas McNaughton, which we saw what our backline was. We've talked about it. People playing out of position, trying to fill both Shaq Moore's role and Lucas McNaughton being injured. That was just them being injured. Now they're gone. They're not coming back. And so what is that backline going to look like without them?
Well, let's look at that, because we just signed Jessian, I'm getting his name wrong. Palacios. I know his last name.
Palacios. Yeah.
Palacios. We just signed him.
Yeah.
From the looks of it, he's probably gonna be a depth piece. That's what everyone's saying. I think that's what our boy Shay told us. He's looking at it as a depth piece. Does that? I mean, again, we lost. Let's recap. McNaughton and Shaq are both gone. But now we have on this back line right now, we've got Lovitz, Washington, Zimmerman, Bauer, Maher, Palacios, Gaines, and I think another guy, newer guy, Nahar or something like that. Does Palacios add anything to that equation? Like, does he add anything in your opinion?
I don't know if he does. I know that he has a lot of experience. I know that he's a little bit older. He's been called up to his national team a few times. But like you alluded to, Shea did
Colombian national team, right?
Yes, Colombian national team, which is a big deal.
Yeah. I'm not downplaying that. From what I know from our boy Shea, our favorite FIFA agent, he actually knows Palacios' agent. And he said that this should be strictly a depth piece for Nashville. And so what that looks like, I don't know. Is he going to fill that Brent Coleman role where he's going to come in to give Walker Zimmerman a break? Because we've still got Mayer, we've still got Bauer, we've still got Walker, and now Palacios. I think he's going to add some experience though, because Josh Bauer is still young. Having more vets around him, Mayer is still younger. So having Zimmerman and Palacios, I think is going to help build those other two up for sure.
Big. So you said something that really it's important. The fact that, like, I think people are kind of downplaying. I'm getting the vibe that people are kind of downplaying the Palacios signing. Even though I'm going to say my thoughts, I think he's a very good signing. I think he's a solid signing, but I think he's solid because he adds depth to a back line that desperately needed it last year.
Yeah.
We needed depth in so many places, and I think we've addressed that. And specifically, we've addressed it in the midfield, but like with this Palacios signing and probably a few other ones, we've got a little bit, maybe not enough to feel super comfortable, but we got a little bit more depth on that back line now. And then if you have to reach down and ask Palacios to start a game or come in, every once in a while, I'm not gonna feel again from the tapes, from the video I've seen, I'm not gonna feel shaky. I'm not gonna freak out.
He's gonna be steady. He's got 230 professional appearances. So
he
knows what he's doing back there.
You don't last that long in this sport if you're giving up goals left and right on the back line.
Well, we also need to address the fact that a lot of the reason why our depth was so hurt last year was because they were hurt. There was so much injury. I mean, look at you didn't even have a full half played by Leal. Like not even a full half of a game.
I think he played 18 minutes.
No, he played a total of
about Leal.
Well, he played a total of
Leal.
43 minutes last year.
That's more than I thought.
He played a total of 43 minutes in 4 separate matches. And it's crazy. But here's the thing. He's been that way almost the entire time he's been with the team. I mean, since we moved to Geodis, he has played maybe half of the games because of injury. And the reason I know that is because that's honestly when I really started attending more matches. And I've noticed that that's happened. So it's something that happened with Tyler Boyd last year. He got injured halfway through the season. Lucas McNaughton injured earlier in the season, taking him out for the entire season. You've got so much injury left and right that was happening to our guys that we had to call up young guys. We had to call up some of those guys to help fill in. I mean, Jack Mayer got injured for a while. Like,
yeah,
our defense was hurting. Our offense, our midfield.
You're telling me that everyone was injured for sure. But here's the thing, bro. Like, I don't think that some of these guys that were our depth pieces last year that were injured were as quality as a Palacios, bro.
No, I understand.
What I'm saying? You know, that's what I'm saying. We had, like, for sure, bro. We did have people that a lot of injuries on that back line, but even if they weren't injured, man, and they came back in or they came into the game, I'm like, I felt shaky putting some of these guys in there.
But
I
felt like the line got shaky.
Palacios does add more depth or at least stronger depth than a Brent Coleman. I love Brent Coleman. I think he was a great guy, but as far as on-field play, I do think Palacios adds a stronger depth piece that is less, like you said, less shaky whenever he does have to be called up and come in.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at guys like Leal, though. Let's as far as a guy that we lost in the midfield, same with Godoy. Let's look at these two. I'm talking guys who can create goals from a very different mindset, different standpoint, and they can score from further out in that midfield zone. I'm going to miss them for that reason. However, with Leal, we talked about it. We've said it so many times. He is a glass cannon. When he gets hurt big, and he's out for forever.
Not only that, but when he's playing, he had a strong shot, but how many shots on net did he have? I mean, he was left and right. He was hitting over the goal.
That's why I say a cannon. It's not a rifle. It's a cannon. You know, Dax McCarty had that little bit more of a rifling on his barrel. But when it comes, and same with Godoy, he had a little bit more rifling on his barrel. But with Leal, he was just a straight cannon. That shot is going as fast as it can go. It's going to end up in this vicinity. Whether it goes in net or not is kind of this there.
So you think losing Leal doesn't impact Nashville SC?
I think it impacts us in a way. It impacts us when it comes to kind of that scary, who knows what's going to happen coin flip. But at the same time, the biggest thing it's going to do when it comes to the effect.
No, it doesn't affect us. No,
it does affect us.
On the pitch enough to affect us.
That's the thing. Is because he wasn't on the pitch as much, it affects us in a positive way because we're not sitting here spending money on a player to sit in the back. And again, do I like the man? Yes. Do I like when he could play how he played? Yes. But it's not, it's going to affect us in a positive way because he's not going to sit here and take up a slot and have us have to pull up from Huntsville, have us have to pull up from our youth.
He was costing us an international spot and costing us $2 million to sit on the bench. Almost. Nashville is not going to miss him. I wish him all the best, but good luck. Take your ball and go home.
Man, that ginger just snapped, bro.
He really is.
He really did just now. Sheesh. All right, guys. I think losing Leal, like, I'm with you, Austin. Like, and I'm with you, Logan. I'm with both. I think that
it's kind of in that same thing.
You lose that danger because, like, we all felt it, bro. Whenever for the 43 minutes that Leal was on the pitch in 2025 or 2024,
he was there.
Just like, is he gonna shoot? We didn't even care if he scored. We just wanted to see that cannon go off. But on the flip side of that, for the last 2-3 years, I can't think any more past than he's gonna shoot and it's gonna look pretty nasty. And you know, I mean, I can't think past like, because he never gave me anything more than that because he was injured all the time. So in my opinion, yeah, we lose the potential, but the potential was squashed because of like how little he was on the pitch. So I don't think we really lose anything.
Can I point out something crazy?
What's up?
I love crazy,
especially coming from me. What we lost in the potential from the all, we gained with BJ Callaghan's version of Alex Morrow. He was scoring goals when BJ Callaghan came in.
I said it already. He won me over after last season. And he started to show it, and I was like, man, you're starting to show these positive things, and he just kept building and kept gaining. I've got one last
messy for you.
I've got one last question for you guys. Obviously, we all know schedules come out now. They've named theme nights and everything, right? Something we didn't address last pod, but I think all of us should say real quick, and you don't have to give a huge reason, like one little quick thing. Which matchup with the way that we've set up our team now, which matchup's the one you're most excited to see us play against?
St. Louis.
Really? Okay.
Why is that?
Because it's the first time we're playing in St. Louis. That's it.
That's a good reason.
Yeah,
that's a good reason.
I kind of want to travel.
I want to see that stadium. I want to see that environment.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to see that environment, man. I'm excited for it. I've got 2.
Go for it.
2/22. You guys know the date.
Your birthday.
Know the date by now.
It's your birthday.
New England.
It's also the start of the season. It's against New England.
And
here's the reason that I'm excited for. And it's here in Geodis. It was gonna set the tone. It's going to set the tone for the season. Yeah. We can there is no like, oh, we got to ease into the season. No, you've had so long. Yeah, you've had so long since BJ has taken over his team. If you don't come out swinging on February 22nd on my birthday, we're gonna have a problem. I need to, because that basically, and on top of that, it's against New England, who has had our number the last 3 times we played them. Yep. I don't get how they've been able to do it, but they've been doing it. So if we come out flat against New England, I'm going to pull out my brown paper bag mask, and I'm going to be wearing that on the capo stand. Second game is going to be Charlotte FC.
Okay.
Charlotte FC on April 5th. Charlotte FC took 2 steps forward last year, right? They did. They currently have a rising star in Patrick Ajiman.
They also currently, for all those who are listening, they currently are the winners of the belt.
Shut up! I don't.
Belt's no longer with us, man.
I don't want to talk about that. What belt? They have a rising star in Patrick Ajiman. I mean, he just got his first USMNT call up, and the Potch is raving about him, bro. You know where they found Patrick Ajiman? In the draft. And then he started on the Crown Legacy,
draft.
Their MLS Next Pro team, and now he's playing for USMNT, one of the best coaches in the history of the game, and he's talking about him. This is what they've been doing over in Charlotte, bro. They found a coach that turned their program around. They're developing talent. They're doing everything Nashville's supposed to do, bro. They're doing everything Nashville's supposed to do, and we took a step back last year. They're beating us in every statistic, bro. Fan engagement, attack, defense. This game is important, guys. Yeah, this game is important, and we have to, I'm telling you, bro. I can't go another year letting these Charlotte FC fans river danced on our graves.
I know. So Austin gave 1, Tunji gave 2, I've got 3, and mine are going to be very quick. I know. Number 1 is going to be March 8th against Portland Timbers. I do not. There's going to be in Geodis, and I think we need our payback for last year.
Isn't that Barbie Day?
That's Barbie Day, but I don't care about that.
That's a weird one. I don't know about that.
I don't care about
that. I guess I could be a Ken. I don't know.
I mean, you can. If you
I'm just Ken.
I'm just Ken, bro.
Oh my gosh. Second, I agree with Austin. St. Louis, I think, is big for us. I'm really excited about that. Third is going to be the last match of the year. Decision day is in Geodis against Miami.
Wow.
Decision day against Miami in Geodis. That's October 18th.
Yeah, I hope our season isn't over by then.
Yeah, hoping the decision
Over 18.
matters for us.
Hey, that's the thing. I'm looking that far ahead because I know it will.
50
Based
goals
on the way
later.
that
Here
we've
we
set
go.
up. Hey, we're going to be scoring 51, 52, and 53 on that day. We're going to do it.
Hey,
We're going to
I
do
like
it.
that. I like
I
that.
think it's
Bookmark it,
huge.
guys.
I
Bookmark
think-
it. Clip it.
Oh, yeah. In fact, if y'all are listening to this, comment down below. Tell us which match you are most excited about, which player that we've brought in that you are most excited about, and what we expect or what you expect from BJ Callaghan, from this team this coming season. I want you guys to do that. As you guys do that, Austin, go ahead and wrap us up, man.
all
Take
right,
it
guys.
away.
Well, we are going to wrap another episode of Mixtape 615 Pod. Big love to all of our listeners. We are
Amen.
getting closer to the season, guys. We are getting
Almost there.
excited, but we couldn't do this without y'all. Special shout out to another guy who we definitely couldn't do it without, our ace producer, Doug Ranson.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's keeping us rolling, our MVP of our podcast here. Don't forget, stay connected. We're going to be having some scarf designs coming out. We're getting ready to launch all of those memberships. So
Our
guys,
our new watch party spot. Don't
new
forget
watch
that.
party spot. Yes.
Lucky 3-star.
And then we are going to post all of that on our socials. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, all that good stuff at Mixtape 615. And for all of our video content, you can find us on YouTube at Mixtape 615 Pod. So guys, keep it real, keep it vibing. Until next episode, Mixtape 615 is signing off.